As an African American woman, I grew up in a household with my stepfather, my mom, and my three older sisters. I used to get beat by my stepfather regularly. And as a result, when I got a beating, I would go to the school and beat up on the teachers and students and then come back home and get a beating from my stepdad. Nevertheless, I still graduated from high school at the age of 17. Unfortunately, before I graduated from high school, I ended up in a juvenile detention center at the age of 15, so that was my first stench with the law. By the age of 23, I was the mother of three young boys. Single parent, forced to do what needs to be done. Welfare wasn't an option. I had my own apartment. I was working. I was in school, but I still needed more. So I ended up committing crimes. And by the age of 25 years old, I ended up being incarcerated. I did my first upstate bid, and one would like to say I didn't learn. Came home, did what I needed to do, graduated with my bachelor's degree. I ended up getting my own apartment, bought a house, had another child, and now I'm a mom of four kids. I got married, but that wasn't what stopped me from anything. In order for me to feed my family, I committed yet another crime and ended up incarcerated yet again. This time leaving behind four grown boys, one of whom was only in kindergarten. I ended up doing 2.5 years in prison. It was while I was incarcerated that I ended up losing my mom, got a divorce, and I felt like I hit rock bottom. That was just too much for me. But while I was incarcerated, I had to put my life back into perspective and know that, you know what, this is not the end of the world for me, and I can be more than what people or society has deemed me to be. So once I came home, I decided to go back to school and obtain and finish my double master's, master's in social work and master's in public administration. It was then that I decided to use my felonies to aid in my process as employment. So I started working in the substance abuse field. No, I myself have never used drugs, but doesn't mean that I wasn't able to help anybody. So I decided to work into the field, and I ended up working hard and long. This in of itself was rewarding for me. But being an incarcerated mother of four boys was not the easiest task. I thank God that my children didn't follow in my footsteps, although one of my children ended up in a juvenile detention center. And up to this day now, he is a veteran of the United States Army. That in of itself tells me that a black woman can do anything that she puts her mind to. I hear people say that being incarcerated hinders you, having felonies hinders you, but it only hinders you if you allow it to hinder you. I must say, being incarcerated, although it was a very bad time in my life, also allowed me to be the best me and become productive in everything that I do. While I know not everyone has this same fate, it's all about what you do and how you utilize your time. Boys are not the easiest thing to raise, and I'll be the first one to tell you that a black woman cannot tell or teach a black man how to be a man. You can only teach them the idea of what you would like a man to be. So unfortunately, I had individuals in my children's lives that not necessarily was the product or the epiphany of what I thought a black man was. So I taught my children what black men should be. This wasn't easy by no stretch of the imagination, but guess what? I am so happy that my children are the way they are. Now, a black woman and a black man being incarcerated is not the same thing. Black women tend to worry about their children, and a lot of them, unfortunately, 90% of the black population of women were either on drugs or doing time for their significant other. That wasn't my case. And so therefore, me not having those elements, I wasn't sentenced the way I felt that I should have been. However, I didn't have any services that needed to be done. With that being said, know that as a black woman, you can do everything and anything that you choose to do, regardless of your past, regardless of whether you have felonies, regardless of anything that comes with it. Know that you're a survivor. Know that you can succeed. Don't allow your drugs, incarceration, or lack of feeling loved or appreciated to stop you from doing your work and being your best you. Take care of yourself, love yourself, and be well.